Nobody there.
Nobody there.
Nobody there.
Okay, we got something there. What is that? What is that? We would hear female voices up in this area. When you mentioned the female presence.
Hi everybody, welcome back for another episode of Twin Ports Paranormal. My name is Victoria Main. I'm here with the Twin Ports Paranormal guys, Rick, Steve, and Harley. And we're going to be hearing about an apartment building in the western part of the city. So who's going to start off and tell us how'd you come in contact with these folks?
I'll tell you, they contacted us through Facebook. We have a messenger on there, and we ended up calling them. And some of the things that they were worried about and complaining about is they would see a shadow figure, a black figure, down the hallway would actually peek out and go back, and this would happen often, especially with her son that would see it. They would have sounds and weird feelings and stuff out of a closet in one of the bedrooms, and in the kids' room, up by the ceiling, the kids were complaining that there was something up there, and it scared them, and it was always up in a certain area in this bedroom. And so we're going to go over there and we're going to check things out, and then the daughter, or the fiance of her son, showed me this message that she got over her phone, and she has no idea, how it got there.
So she was on her phone, she was going to download something, but she didn't get that
Well,
far.
she always downloads music, and she said her phone gave her like a message that a download came in, which she didn't download. And this was sort of the point that just they needed us there.
So they said that's enough, and that's when they called.
Yeah.
So we're going to play this on Rick's phone here. Just keep that over by the mic there, Rick.
Yep. I'll play it again. And it's just this short one, just so short of a download, but this is what came through.
4 seconds.
So this gal doesn't download anything. Her phone just gives her a message saying, you have a download.
Yes.
She didn't download it. It just appeared.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's creepy. That's
Yeah.
super creepy.
And like we were just talking and discussing, could it be paranormal? Yeah. Steve, you brought up how they can manipulate.
The spirits can manipulate any electronic device. Once they figure out how it works, they're able to manipulate it. So it's very possible that they manipulated her phone and put this on there to try to get a message to her. But what it says, we have no idea.
Yeah. It almost sounds like it might be another language, like, like native, maybe Ojibwe or, something like that. But it definitely, I can't get an English phrase out of it myself, but it's creepy, really creepy.
And I did play it in reverse, and it pretty much sounds the same.
Yeah.
But you can't make nothing out of it.
So that was when they basically said, all right, that's enough weird stuff, we're calling these guys. So you went in there, and I want to talk a little bit. We have this first EVP here. So what are you doing before you get this?
Well, this particular one, we were sitting in the living room. Actually, I was out walking around probably with the SLS at that time also. But one of our investigators, Terry, was sitting in the corner there, and she heard like a growl.
With her own ears.
With her own ears. We didn't catch nothing on the recorder of a growl, but she heard it, But she did ask a question, and she got a response from it. So, we were just sitting around asking questions, just doing our normal, with the recorders out and stuff like that, and see if we can get something.
Okay.
And this is what we caught here.
Okay, so let's play that first EVP.
Were you growling over here? Were you growling over here?
So she hears the growl with her own ears. She asks it, are you growling over here?
Yeah,
And the
and-
EVP says yes.
Yes, yep, and of course, we didn't hear that, yes, it came through the recorder.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, that's how mainly everything works with us, we can do an investigation. And sometimes you were just sitting there, and you ask these questions, and during the time, you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
But it's when we go and review the evidence and we listen to the recordings, that's when you get everything.
Wow.
It's just amazing how that works.
So you guys had it was a pretty active night for you at this place.
Yes, yes, it was.
Excuse me. Okay, this one's pretty interesting. She asks,
In this one, of course, we asked for, give us a response, if you're hearing all this kind of stuff. But my recorder that this one came off of was in the closet that they seem to have issues with. And that's why this, the sound of it is so clear, because it came from the closet. And mind you, in this apartment, there is no other apartment around them. So, noises from other tenants ain't interfering with anything in this place. There's nobody around them. So when these noises come and the things they hear are not from the neighbors or anything.
okay,
So.
do we have that second EVP there?
You hear the clicking and sign, knock on the wall? Move something? Say something? You hear the clicking and sign, knock on the wall? Move something? Say something? You hear the
And the reason why, like, they didn't hear that knock or say, we just heard a knock, is they were actually in the living room. And this closet is in a bedroom,
Oh, okay.
so they didn't hear it. But that's what the recorder picked up right
Wow.
at that point. So it did give a response when they asked for the knock. They got one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's pretty clear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this next one kind of cracks me up, because you've got a spirit who's a little bit of a
I think I'll let Harley tell you about that one.
I was a little sarcastic.
Yeah.
In a response.
Well, you were going through. They're asking questions, whatever, and you're holding a millimeter that also has a REM on it, and that'll give the colors like a REM pod would. And Harley was starting to say, you got these colors, stuff, and whatever this. The spirit didn't think it was probably a big
It was
deal.
close. It
You
was
know.
close because the colors would it just graduate from one to the next to the next to the next, and it just before it would stop just before it peaked to the last one.
Mm-hmm.
But it was coming up and down, and then it would stay fairly steady, and it was like it was looking around trying to figure out what I was holding. I don't know, but it was interesting with the response.
Well, mind you too, when those lights go off, it's picking up something.
so
Something
the lights
is
are like
near.
yellow, green, red, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's picking up an electromagnetic field. Mm-hmm. And the closer it gets, the higher the level will be.
So it starts yellow, then it goes to green, then it goes to red.
Each one is different.
Okay.
Pretty much they're all consistent with the last one is red.
Okay.
But mine's different than Harley's, and Rick's is slightly different. It's just whoever makes them. And as I've said in past episodes, everything we use is stuff that is used for other reasons, but it works in the paranormal field. Because what that's for is the location of uninsulated wires. Because that's picking up an electromagnetic field. Same thing in the spirit world. So the stronger the level, the stronger the spirit. or the closer it is.
So when you guys go into a place, do you do kind of a first baseline sweep? to
Yes.
Find out where you're lighting up just for the electricity in the house or whatever?
Because refrigerators are really bad, a lot of microwaves are bad, freezers,
And if
any,
they have
any major appliance.
Yeah, and if they have Wi-Fi,
Right.
you know, you could either turn that off or know that you're in the area right next to that Wi-Fi, because that'll.
So you
boost that
guys
up
are
too.
sure that this response that came through was not, something in the house, an appliance of some sort,
Because we
right?
swept that area a number of times, walk through, different, like another team would go through, they sweep it, we'd sweep it. We thought it was a hot spot, we go back later and check it again, and it's gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, now where in the hell is,
In this place, the only spot in the entire place that had high levels was in the kitchen, because all the appliances were stacked up right there in the kitchen.
Sure,
But if you were on the other side of the island, you didn't pick any of it up.
yeah,
So we primarily just stayed on the outside of the kitchen through the
Okay.
entire investigation,
Okay.
knowing that was a really
Okay.
high levels there.
so Harley's, or somebody's commenting on the colors that are
Yes.
appearing on
I
the
was.
REM. Why don't we go ahead and play that third one?
Is that you, Sandra K. LaFree?
I got a green and blue on that one. Had the green one, it just shot right to the blue and shut down. On the rail pod, right?
Is that you, Sandra K. LaFree?
I got a green and blue on that one. On that one. On that one. On that one. On that one.
Yeah.
obviously he didn't really care it was what color the light was.
Yeah.
He didn't care it was going off at all, it was just whatever.
Whatever.
So that was, yeah.
So you had an irritated spirit,
Yeah.
wanted you to move on to,
Mm-hmm.
you know. That's funny. Okay, this next one. Now, when Harley and I listened to this, like yesterday or Wednesday,
Wednesday.
it sounded to me like there was two things on it. There's kind of there's a first sound, but then there's a pause, and then there's another, which, well, I won't tell you what I think it sounds like to me, but when we play it, it's like there's a first sound, and then there's a gap, and then there's a little phrase. But I'll tell you what I think it is after we play it. Let's do clip number
I want to
4.
give you, it's called a K2 meter that you're going to hold. You're going to hold this.
Okay.
When you go around places, just walk around like this and see if this starts flashing. I want to give you, it's called a K2 meter that you're going to hold. You're going to hold this.
Okay.
When you go when you go around places, 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 when you go around places.
It's like, huh? And then, I don't know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know what that first thing is.
I don't either. And that at that point, what was happening there too is the client, I was giving her the K2 meter and telling her, use this and stuff like that, and then that was in there too.
Yeah.
So.
So there was like two things there. Did you guys hear I don't know, or was that?
Well, I like that because to me that's sort of
It was like, I
that's
don't
what
know.
it sounds like. I wasn't
the-
sure, and
the
you guys
tone
were
of it.
listening to it, and that's a good catch.
Yeah, I listened to it with the headphones, and when I did with the headphones, then it sounded like I don't know,
Yeah,
like it was a voice.
I have troubles trying to hear, I was having trouble hearing it here. We played it at the house, I had headphones on, and I could hear something. My hearing has been dissipating so much that it's hard for me to listen in on this without cranking the whole system up. But just hearing and seeing this now surprises me too.
Yeah, it does
Because I
sound
didn't,
like
because
that.
I didn't
Yeah.
figure that was in there.
Well, to me, it almost sounds like, because the sound that comes before it is kind of like it's almost like two different people.
mm-hmm.
It's like one voice making that sound, and then the second voice responding, saying, "I don't know, I don't know,
Yeah, it's.
I don't know." But
Crazy.
Nice.
but the theme of two does come up later on in the
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah, of two
Yeah.
possible spirits there.
So I'm wondering if that is what was going on there. I want to listen to it again with the headphones because I feel like that first sound is different from the voice that says, "I don't know," which clearly sounds like a woman to me.
Yeah,
Which, yeah.
And then
And it sounded like a man
and
in
the
first one.
first noise, that kind of, there's just kind of a
I
sound.
wonder
Or,
if that was our arguing couple.
That's what we're getting at.
I wonder. So so on this next clip now, that kind of leads into what we were just talking about with the two.
let's, Steve, explain you'll lead us up to this one.
Okay,
It's pretty-
well, we tried a new experiment, which we had never done before, and it worked out tremendously. So what happened was, the team and the clients were sitting in the living room. I was sitting at the island near the kitchen, and I put headphones on, and I had it hooked to a spirit box, which is a phonetic generator, creates white noise, and allows spirits to speak through it. And what I would do is, while they were asking questions, I would just spit out whatever words I was hearing on the spirit box. And not knowing if they correlated or if,
Right.
I don't even know what was being asked, because I could hear little mumbling, but I couldn't make out any words. And at one point, it had lasted for 2 to 3 minutes. I could hear what sounded like a man and a woman arguing. But sometimes with the spirit box being actually a radio, sometimes you may get interference. And I thought, well, maybe I'm catching a little interference. But it kept happening. And I couldn't make out what they were saying, but it was a clear argument between a male and a female. And finally I just said, guys, and just said it kind of jokingly, guys, I am listening to a male and a female fight, arguing. And when it was all said and done, Rick had come up to me and said, you know, when you said that, 2 spirits popped up on the SLS camera.
So when you're hearing this through your headphones, and that spirit box is sweeping frequencies continuously, like every
At a high rate of speed.
right, like every second, you know.
AM reverse.
So it would be
Yep.
very difficult for it to capture a conversation, an argument of any length.
It's very, very strange to hear a full conversation going on over so many different sweeps.
Right.
You know, if it's interference, when the radio kicks back on to those frequencies, then we might catch something else, and it's consistent. But to have it running through multiple frequencies is amazing.
And for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a long time.
yeah.
All right, well, let's go to that next clip, the number 5 there.
They're not referring to anybody in this house?
No, it's between the two of them, and it's a male and a female. Male's got a pretty deep voice, and it just,
And this is when I'm saying I hear there are 2 people arguing.
at each other.
Two of them.
This shows up on the camera.
There's 2 people, you're saying male, female.
Yep.
Okay. And one's bitching at the other, or are they both bitching at each other?
Yeah.
You see the guy, the one on the right, that's the guy. Because he's got his back turned to each other.
Are you two fighting because my son and my daughter-in-law fight a lot?
That is really
Did you
strange.
stop fighting?
Mind you, when that popped up, I had nobody behind me with the camera. So I had to pull out my phone really quick and start recording that. So I
We
had
wondered
proof.
if you did it on your phone
I
because it was
had
skinny.
to. Yeah, I had to. It was, he started talking about that, what he's hearing, and I catch this, and I'm not going to start yelling, somebody come over here with the camera. So I just grabbed my phone and started recording that.
Weird that happened right at the same time. So you're listening to him for a full 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I couldn't. To me, I didn't want to spit it out because I didn't know if I was really hearing that or not.
Yeah.
You know, because I've been using a spirit box for years, and to hear just a consistent conversation for that long doesn't seem possible with it, but I was proved wrong that night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Wild.
yeah.
So
Well then, okay, now this last one is pretty, I think this is super creepy. So these people had complained.
Yeah, one of the things where is that in the kids' room, there's 2 beds in there and there's a lamp. There ain't much furniture in this room at all. Really high ceilings. And the kids would always say, there's something up in that corner. They see a shadow, they see things up there, and it scares them, And immediately, I go in that room and I just sit down on the bed and I turn on the SLS and put it up there. Something was there, just immediately, in the same spot that the
Right
kids
where the
would-
kids
yeah,
said
and
it was
there's
gonna be.
nothing there, just wall.
All right, let's go ahead and play number 6 there.
Can you tell me why you were here?
as you can see in that picture on the right, that's actual footage.
Yep.
That's the camera.
You can see
What's
the
your
corner.
name?
You can
Why
actually
are you
see
here
the
with
corner
me?
where
Why do
the
you
ceiling
come
and
here
the
and
walls
scare the
come together.
kids?
Yep. You can see the floor lamp.
I always wonder, what are those figures doing when they're moving like that?
I don't know.
It's
But if you look
the-
at the head on that thing, it's like angled
No child
down.
needs to be tormented by
Looking down.
anybody.
It's just how the camera picks it up.
Yeah.
Because it's just millions of little tiny lights, little dots, and that's how it maps you in.
I mean, you swear to God that was somebody dancing.
What was Steve's last answer, do you know?
Now it's like leaning down.
Yeah, but Steve was on doing that SLS or the spirit box thing at that time too. And he said something like, "Sometimes I'll hurt you."
Yeah, it was something like
Who's
that.
by me?
At some point, it's going to move over.
Yeah. And then pretty much leave.
Yeah,
Did you see that message?
what message?
It said, sometimes I'll hurt you.
Was that the last thing he said?
Yeah, I was busting a joke and I was like, what do you wear the panties and she wears the boxers?
Mm,
I didn't like it too much.
mm.
The one who told me that was the client.
Jumped
to Liz.
Wow, that's so weird.
There, you
No
did jump
furniture in
right there.
there. There's 2 mattresses.
See, where he
on
is
the
right
bed.
now, there's a little cutout in that wall,
So
and they
it
had
might be
a bunch of
like,
property hanging, or in that little area up there. And, I don't know, I got a very strange feeling with that section of the wall, because it just seemed out of place.
What are you doing?
Wow.
And then it'll just go.
Then it'll disappear.
And he right up against the outside wall there. Oh,
Yeah.
That's just some creepy.
And especially that's what the kids would see in that spot.
So, I don't know, on a scale of 1 to 10, this place seems pretty creepy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, especially with the families going through there. I mean, like they said, with seeing the shadow figure, and they got little kids, and the kids are getting scared. This is the kind of case too that really defines what we do as Twin Ports Paranormal is we want to help these people out. As a matter of fact, we're going to be going back there and maybe do a mini investigation and do a complete cleansing of that place, because she called me again. She says things are actually seems to be getting worse. At the moment, or at the time we did the reveal, and showed them everything that we got, and there was a lot more. But they were okay with that. They figured they could probably live with it now that they know what's going on and stuff like that. But just recently, things are getting bad again. So she wants them out.
Really?
Yeah, she's a strong lady, this Liz, but she probably could handle them herself, but it's the kids that
Sure.
she's really concerned about right now because they are starting to scream when they see things.
Really?
You know, yeah.
So, and then you were talking earlier about something in the hallway there,
Yeah.
in this building.
Mhm.
So what was that? Where was that? Like, was that on the same floor as these people?
No, it's actually in that apartment. When you first enter the apartment, to your left is 2 rooms. You got a bedroom or 2 bedrooms, and then there's this hallway that brings you to the living room and the kitchen. So when they're in the living room or in the you know, and they look down this hallway, it's coming like from the bedroom area, you know, and it peeks around the corner into the living room, and then goes back. And they've seen that a lot of times, you know. So they're getting a little freaked out right now.
Yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put this one relative to your other investigations? I don't know. This seems to me
I'm not
like
gonna answer
We've had some pretty rough ones.
Yeah, some, you know, some were worse, you know, but this one's, you know, when it involves kids, I don't care. I'll put it at 10 all the time, you know, because if we have to go in there, and especially with the cleansing, we're Christian. We do it the Christian way, and we will take care of this. We use the holy water, the ointment oils, everything.
yeah.
that was
We
my
seal-
next question.
we
What are you
seal-
going to do for
Yeah,
this?
we seal the rooms. We bless everything in there, and then we have certain prayers that we use that will rid the negative. You know, if her mother's there, she'll be allowed to stay. You know, but
We
that's-
actually say that in the process.
Yeah.
You know, if you're here, you can stay. All other spirits need to be gone.
And right now, I mean, we're doing pretty good with the results of other places we've done. You know.
Do it with the
Yes.
cleansing that you do?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I brought this up before. Where we had a mother call us and, you know, thanked us so much because her daughter now can sleep in her room again. And this girl was 4 years old at the time. She couldn't even sleep in her room.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was. We have some good results after the cleansings, and sometimes we got to go back again. You know, the first time just didn't do it. You
Yeah.
know?
So, well, this sounds like so when are you going back in the near future then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We were gonna do it probably this weekend, but there's been some changes, so I'm gonna contact the client. And we're gonna set up another date.
And do you think this is something this you know what's going on? Do you think this is isolated to their apartment in this building, or do you think other tenants are experiencing some of what these people are experiencing?
Well, if anything else, like if it's like the Morgan Park School, it could be a multitude of places. So, I wouldn't doubt if there's more.
Being that this place was a school, you know, so it's.
In past schools that I've done, schools can be absolutely incredible places because can be a positive place, and you'll get a lot of child spirits that are just there hanging out because that was a place that they enjoyed it during their youth. So it would be very hard pressed for me to think that there wasn't more
Yeah.
in that school.
Okay. All right. Well, another successful investigation, but not quite concluded yet. So I
Not
guess
yet.
we'll
Yep.
be having probably maybe another episode about. Now, will you investigate before you do the cleansing?
That's my plan. Yeah.
Okay. So this will have a part 2, I guess. So that's it for this time. But we'll see you soon on the next Twin Ports Paranormal. Come back for part 2 of this and more. See you later.